Hey, what's up, gang? I'm back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be working on Project Prelude. Now, before we get this video started, I wanted to introduce something new to the channel. A lot of times I'll be doing small stuff to the car that I don't record. And me wanting to be a YouTuber, I need to start recording some of the smaller stuff. And maybe some small knickknacks from Amazon, eBay that I'm throwing on the car to make it better, or just some small maintenance stuff I'm doing. Most of the time don't record it. That's going to change. And what I'm also going to do is start introducing chapters. Now, chapters would allow you to jump to a specific part that I'm doing in a video. For example, what I'm about to do in today's video, which is I bought these quick release battery terminals off Amazon. Everything I bought off Amazon will be linked in the description below. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my gauge cluster bulbs from green to white. If you guys remember or ever watched it, the link will be in the top right corner. I converted my gauge cluster to LED, but I put green bulbs in. Another thing I want to do is, if y'all watched my previous video, I put a sub in the trunk, and the rear deck is rattling like crazy. So I want to fix that, get rid of that rattle. So if y'all want to see a specific thing, y'all can just click a chapter and go straight there. Y'all ain't got to watch the whole video if y'all don't want to. But I advise y'all to watch the whole video because a lot of stuff, it's not Prelude specific. You know, these battery quick connect terminals things, you can put them on any car, or like change the fuel filters or change the LED bulbs and cluster. Like that stuff you can do with pretty much any car. It's just vehicle specific how you do it. Well, I'm gonna stop talking. Let's go ahead and hop to this video. Okay, so as y'all can see, there's the positive and there's the negative. This is also a battery tie down I bought. I will link that from eBay. Factory one was gone. Needed a way to tighten the battery down, and it's not going anywhere. But anyway, the kit came with clamps, as you will assume. It also came with some terminal connections, like some ring terminals, so you can adapt the factory stuff or whatever you got hooked up to the battery to work off one of these pegs. And what's crazy is I had to figure out what this was. I'm pretty sure this is just to clean a battery terminal. I've never seen one of these before. And I guess you just do that, do that on the terminal, which is crazy. I've never seen that before, but it came with it, so that's cool. But this battery is brand new, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. So the first thing we're gonna do is just take these off. Now, as you can see, it wasn't even bolted down because I don't bolt the terminals down anymore because I'm always like taking them on and off. So I'm like, this is gonna be cool because I can actually just clamp it with this and actually have it tight, you know, when I'm actually driving the car. But if I'm ready to take it off, I gotta just boop, pop it right off. So I'm going to get these swapped over. It should be pretty quick, and I guess I'm gonna time lapse it. Alright, so I had to end up just getting some shrink wrap that I already have because this 4 gauge is too thick for the terminals that came with this kit. It may be able to fit the actual car power wire, like that's going to the fuse box and whatnot, like starter and all that. But for 4 gauge, it's definitely not looking good. So if y'all do decide to get this kit, I would recommend just getting some bigger O-rings and doing it like that. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to solder all of this together because I don't have any bigger O-ring terminals on me. So just to make this work, I'm going to just solder it all together. It should be a perfect hole. It should not have any issues, and just continue this with this swap. Okay, and that's our new connection ready to go on the terminal. Let me zoom in, make sure y'all can see. All right, so just like I say, it's my amp wire, and that's just gonna screw on just like that, nice and clean. So I'm going ahead and finish what I got. 3 more. I got ground, and then I have these 2 power wires right here to switch over and go ahead and wrap this up. I also did, I don't know if y'all have seen that, but I put these little felt pads that came with the kit on the bottom of the batteries, so that's cool. So let me go ahead and finish this up. Okay, so I just ran to the parts store and I got some O-ring terminal connectors. I got this battery. I got 2 battery O-ring connectors so I can slip over the main positive and main ground. And then I got these. I guess this is like a chassis ground right here. It's all tore up and ripped up. So what I'm gonna do is I got this 4 gauge. I just had laying around. I'm gonna replace this little piece right here. This little chassis ground right here. Replace it with this. So I got everything I need. Let's go ahead and bang this out. It should look pretty cool.
Pluto, wake up.
Okay, it's finished. Let's go ahead and throw negative on, see what happens. Go ahead and clamp that bad boy. Oh, nice. That looked really clean. I ain't gonna lie. So here is the finished product. Oh, I forgot to put in the screw. It's right there. That's okay. But it's done. Obviously, you just unclamp this, lift it right off. These are super snug, super snug. Use this to adjust it, the tightness of it. And it's looking good. One thing I realized as I was doing this is the little middle indentation is for main, power, and ground. And I had converted those. Well, this is main, ground right here. But that could have went right in the middle. But I didn't do that. So it's okay though. If you guys end up ordering these, just know that the middle is for the main, power, and ground. You just take this little plate off, slip it on, and bolt this back up. And you can also still use those two for any type of power or whatever you want to do. But I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, make sure it still start, and we're gonna move on. All right, so one thing I noticed about these little quick connectors is I can't close my hood now. And I read on the Amazon reviews that some people were having issues where these are actually too thick, and I'm running into that issue. So the positive is fine, but the negative is actually hitting the hood somewhere right there. Let me actually show y'all real quick. Scratch that. I just took this pad off, and now it gave me just enough room to close the hood. So that's super clutch. So I'm guessing if y'all run into that issue, I don't think that pad is really necessary. So I just took it off. But now closes just fine now. I guess I didn't really show y'all like it working like actually all finished. So you would just pop that off and then it just comes right off. And then you can use this little dial right here to tighten it up in case it's not tight enough for your terminal. Push it all the way down. That way it give you the most clearance. And go ahead and clamp that bad boy on. That bad boy is now moving. So yeah, those are pretty nice. Like I said, I'll leave those in the description below. They're only like $9. Like you can't beat that. Now it's time to move on. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and change these bulbs out in this cluster. I did a whole video. It's flickering and stuff too. It's got probably a connection loose or something. But I did a whole video like converting these to green LEDs because the bulbs in there were blue. Like actually blue, like not working. So I put green LEDs in there thinking it'll match the rest of the interior, and it doesn't. But what I've learned from doing a little bit of research is actually like a teal film actually in the cluster, and the original bulbs were like white or basically like cream. So what I'm gonna do is I just ordered some white bulbs, and I should hopefully light the cluster up teal if everything I looked up is right and my mind is right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that cluster out. I did a whole video of doing that. So I'm not going to show y'all like me actually time-lapsing it, you know, taking all that apart. Y'all can just click the top right link and that'll take y'all right to that video. So I'm just going to pop it out and we're going to skip straight to swapping the bulbs out. All right, so I got the cluster out, not fully, just I wanted to test one of these bulbs, make sure they work. These were the original like green ones I swapped to. You can just see it's the one LED at the top. These right here actually got 3. So it should be a little bit brighter. I just want this slip one into little housing connector, whatever you want to call this. Like I said, just to make sure it works, and just go from there. So let's test. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and power the car up. That way we can compare how they look, because they are not the same, but it definitely looks better. So obviously that's factory color. I'm gonna try to color correct it as best as possible, so like it shows up on video how it is in real life, because they are different. But this looks way better than that Ford green. That's what I always called those. The old color was Ford green, because a lot of old Fords had that color in the gauge luster. But anyway, this looks a hell of a lot better. Even like the needles light up red now. The red line light up red. It was struggling to light up red because of those green bulbs. It was just green everywhere. This looks a hell of a lot better. Like I say, it don't match, but that's fine. I also converted the turn signals to LEDs, the old LEDs that were actually in the car, like I put in there. I just put them in the turn signals. But I'm missing some of the sockets that you actually use to put the bulb in. I'll link all that stuff in the description if y'all need replacements. But that's on the way, so that's why I'm not, I'm just leave this right here because I'm not finished. I want to do the high beam indicator in the middle. There's nothing in there right now. I want to do that LED as well. So yeah, I mean, that looks a lot better. I can't wait to, actually put it on the road and see how it look, driving at night and whatever. All right, so another issue that I've been having with the car is, if you guys seen the last video, I put a sub in here and now the rear deck is rattling like crazy. But luckily, I've had this issue before, and I know a very quick and easy fix, and I'm going to show you guys. So if you come to the trunk, you will, most cars, majority of like coupes and sedans, you will be able to see the rear like deck panel right here through the actual, I guess, I don't know what you call like this part of the frame or of the car, but you will see the interior part right here, and it's right there. And I can move it with my finger. It's a lot of areas with gaps, like right here. And what I normally do is, like I said, I've had this issue before and I fixed it pretty easy, is I just take a towel and I just stuff that mug up in there and stuff it and stuff it. And what you want to do is you want to stop the actual panel from being able to actually move up and down. Obviously, when you have a sub in the car, it's creating pressure in the trunk. The pressure needs to go somewhere, and that panel is like literally going to vibrate like crazy. So you just want to stuff like these little holes and some more holes on this side. Just stuff all those holes, and that should more than likely stop your rattling issue. Like I say, just stuff them up in there. It's ghetto, but like I say, every car I've done it to, it worked. So if it worked, then why change it? I actually just cut up one towel to stuff it up in there because that's all I could fit in there. But now it's time to test. Let's see if it fixed it or not. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this 40 hertz test tone. That should give us the answer there if I fixed it or not. Before, it sounded like a blown sub. Like, it sounded bad, so let's just see. That's nothing. It's gone. What I tell y'all, it might be ghetto, but it worked. All right, so the next thing to do is to get this damn fuel filter off. Now, I attempted this before, but I couldn't get the line coming from the gas tank off. It's just so corroded. But it's been sitting on PV Blaster for ever since then, which is like a few months ago. I spray it every now and then. So I'm hoping I can just crank it off now without damaging the line. This thing needs to be replaced because I don't even know if it's ever even been replaced. And this is a 1993, so I'm going to attempt it one more time, put you guys on a tripod, and probably just do a time lapse. Finally got it loose. Golly. I honestly thought I was going to mess up the line. I didn't even care anymore. This had to get changed. I hate working with gas. Oops, shit. The line doesn't look bad. Here goes the old one. Oh, like this thing is old. Alright, here goes the new one. Brand new. Still got the little plastic thing in there. Go ahead and get this installed. So I got it all like basically hooked up. I just want to test the leaks before I put it all back together. So let me know if there's any leaks. So far it's looking dry. Let me hit it one time. Still looking dry. Alright, so we're good on leaks. It's not leaking so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap all this back up, put the intake back on, and I wanna start it. I wanna see if it like make a difference with like how it run or whatever. So I'm going to put this back together. Looks like it's from the filter coming out to the rail. So let me tighten that up. Alright, take two. Will it leak? Let's find out. Alright, so I got the new bulbs and sockets in. I think this is actually from the same Amazon store, so shout out to these guys because they use the same bag. If you're looking for these sockets, it's a T5. The bulb is a number 74 LED for your gauge cluster, 92 to 96. Prelude, non-EL. I'm not 100% sure about EL clusters. EL clusters are the clusters that got the digital odometer. I don't know about changing those lights, but 92, 96, non-EL, this is what you're looking for. All I gotta do is just change the headlight symbol, light bulb out, and put it all back together. So I'm just gonna go run and do that real quick. It's cold as hell right here now. It's actually 34 degrees outside, and I got like 40 minutes before I go to work. So I'm finna go ahead and bang this out real quick. All right, so it's actually been a few days. I ran out of time when I was working on my cluster before work, but now I'm back. And I got the cluster put all in, the bulbs in, looking real good. It's just bright. Actually, let me turn this light off because that'll probably help. See, yeah, that helped a little bit. I mean, as it's appearing on camera, is literally how it appears in real life. It's not too bright. It's really uniform. Like everything is all like lit up perfectly fine. The needles, RPM, the tack, the odometer, everything is like lit up really good. It looks amazing. Since I ran out of time, I'm like, why not do something with the fuel gauge and the temp gauge? I'm like, I was looking online. There's different ways to go about this. One of the more simpler ways I found was just to buy some colored transparent film. So this is obviously, it got like a protective layer on there. That's why it's kind of cloudy. But if I put this up over the needle, over the gauges, now don't get me wrong, it ain't like super blue. I feel like it looks more blue on camera than it does in real life. It's not super blue, but it does add some blueness to the gauges. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut out like a nice little rectangle. I'm gonna tape it over like the gauges as well as the clock over there, just to add a little bit more blue to the gauges. That way it matches, you know, the cluster better. I even changed my radio to blue. I just want everything to flow a little bit better. I'm finna just go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so I put the film over the gauges as well as the clock. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a difference, but it's not like no dramatic, huge difference. Maybe, you know, if I put the tinted, you know, it'll look a little bit more better with the tinted little faceplate over it. But it's like, it's not perfect, but it's close enough. Like, they're all blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it like this. Another thing, if y'all do want to do this to y'all own Prelude, y'all have to keep in mind that I bypass the dimmer switch. Because, you know, when you turn on your lights, your gauges are supposed to dim. My clock still does it. You see that? Yeah, those gauges are supposed to dim too. So it might look a little bit dark if you don't bypass the dimmer. I can still see the clock perfectly fine, and it's still like light outside. My light's right here. So it might not be a huge issue, but I just wanted to let y'all know that, you know, in case anybody wanted to do this to their own Prelude. But now, there's one more green light in this car, and I want to see what bulb this is. I do got some more of those gauge cluster bulbs, but I'm not 100% sure if those are the same bulbs. So what I'm gonna do is I want to put all of this back together since I'm done like messing with all this stuff, and then I just want to pop these two covers off right here just to see what bulb is back here. Maybe I can rig some up, or you know, maybe I can't, but I just want to see what's going on back there. So let me go ahead and put all this stuff back together, and I'll be back with an update. Alright, so I got these panels pulled apart, and at the bottom of the ignition, if you have this ring light, there is the bulb right there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to swap it. It doesn't look the same, but it looked like I might be able to rig something up. So I'm gonna see what I come up with, and I'm gonna show y'all. Alright guys, I made a discovery. So the number 74 bulbs that fit in the cluster do kind of fit in the ignition lights. I had to modify it just a tad bit. I had to cut the corner off, like just with some wire cutters, so it'll slip up in the ignition hole, the light bulb socket right here. Because for some reason, it just did not want to go in. It seemed like it was just a little too tight. So I snipped it, and it went in perfectly fine. Now, this might not be the actual size that go in here, but it does work. I am confirming it. It does work, and it does fit. Another thing I had to do is, since these are white bulbs, I just cut 2 films of that blue, it's not in here no more, but the blue film that I used on the gauges over here, and I hot glued it to the side LEDs, since there are 3, just so everything is all blue. And then I took, it's like a little diffuser right here, like a little rubber diffuser that was on a stock bulb, and I put it on the tippy top. So now, once I put this in, it should look blue as hell and look good as hell. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to see how it looks. All right, so I got the ignition light in, and it looks real good. But I want to wait the nighttime to show y'all. And nighttime's not for a few hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap my portion up of the video. You won't see me anymore in this video, but I do hope y'all like this video. If y'all have any questions, make sure to leave comments below, and also make sure to like and subscribe. More Prelude content coming soon. Now let's roll the nighttime shots of the new LED blue interior lights.
You know what's gonna happen now, don't you?